So what is the last chapter? What we are discussing last chapter? Biodiversity of the living organism. Next chapter is our sense organs. Yes or no? Now once you can see human body and health, especially sense organs. What is that? Sense organs. Is it visible? Once I am reading. So living organisms are equipped with the special organs are called sense organs. Okay. So that enable them to receive the information about the surrounding environment. For example, if the surrounding environment, with the help of the sense organ, we can collect the information. Through the eyes we can see, through the ears we can listen, okay, through that skin we can touch, like that. Through that nose we can identify the smell, through the tongue we can identify the taste. So in our surrounding, in our surroundings, with the help of the information, with the help of the sensory organ, we can collect the information. This information make the organism aware of its surrounding, and the animal respond by producing suitable responses. Human beings are no exception to this, as they are also provided with a sense organ. Okay, now listen carefully. A sense organ performs the functions for which it is designed. For example, what is the function of eye? It's see. What is the function of ear? To listen. So what is the function of nose? To identify the smell. What is the use of tongue? Identify the taste. What is the use of skin? Identify the feel. Next, so that means I can sense light but not sound. So that means only what is the function allotted to that function only doing. Another function cannot doing. At the same time, another important point is that sense organs are only mean through which the sensory information is received. Sense organs do not have the capacity to understand the meaning of the sensory information. Okay, that sense organs only collect the sensory information. They cannot integrate the information. For example, this can be more clearly understood by comparing the sense organ with a telephone. For example, a message is received and transmitted by the telephone, but the meaning of the message is not understood by the telephone. Same manner that sense organs also doing. It is the person who hear the message coming through the telephone and understand the meaning of this message. Similarly, sense organs only receive the information and transmit the same in the form of electrical current to the brain. It is the brain that receives the information and analyze the information and interpret the information, and the electrical signals meaningfully send it to that through the particular organ. So here each sense organs are made up of several hundreds of the cell. Only few cells in the sense organ actually receive the sensory information. Which of the cells are receive the information? That is called receptor cells. What we are called? Receptor cells. Simply we are called receptors. Simply we are called receptor. Receptors means so which of the organs, which of the sense organ receive the sensory information through the receptor. Rest of the cells are supportive in the nature and help the receptor cell to perform their duties. There are several types of the receptor cells, each specialized to receive the particular type of the sensory information. Okay, different kind of the receptor cells are named after sensory information. They receive several receptor cells together to form a sense organ. In this lesson, we will discuss about the different types of the sense organ. We will study the details of the structure of the eye, structure of the ear, structure of the nose, structure of the skin, structure of the tongue. Now coming to the point, here again two important things are very important. One is the receptors. Receptors means so which of the sense organ receive the sensory information, that is called receptor. Next, stimulus. What is the meaning of the stimulus? A major function of any sense organ, receptor cell, is to sense the change in the environment. So that means a change in an environmental parameter which generate the response in an animal is called stimulus. What are the changes are occurred inside that environment? With the help of the stimulus, identify the change. Okay. One of the important property of the sense organ is that respond to the stimulus of the particular intensity of the strength. So there are 5 major sense organs are present in the human body. That is nothing but eyes. That is nothing but eyes. Second one is the ears. Third one is the nose. Third one is the nose. Fourth one is the tongue. Fourth one is the tongue. And fifth one is the skin. In this lesson, we will discuss about the different types of the sense organs. Okay. So, eyes, ear, nose, tongue and skin. Okay. So, these are the sense organs we will study in the detailed way. Okay. So, now we will discuss about that. Now see, only few cells in the sense organ receive the sensory information. These are called receptors. Each sensation perceived by the different kinds of the receptor. Receptor cells are named after the sensation they perceive. Receptor cells may be present in the single cell or group of the cells in the sensor organ. Changes in the environmental parameter is called stimulus. Stimulus generate a response in the organism. Minimum strength of the stimulus is required to generate a response from the receptor cells. Okay. Now coming to the point. Now we can discuss about the eye. Is it visible? Zoom. Oh, just a minute. Is it visible? Okay. So now you can see that number 1, sclerotic layer. Sclerotic layer, actually 3 layers are present. Second one is the choroid layer. Third one is known as the retina. Fourth one, this is called cornea. Fifth one is called lenses. Sixth one is the aqueous chamber. And seventh one is the, okay, so vestigial chamber. Eighth one is the, wait, where is the eighth? Eighth here, optic nerve. And ninth one is the, this is called iris. And 10th one, ciliary muscles. 11th one, conjunctiva. And 12th one, blind spot. These are the parts we can see in that eyes. What are the parts you can see? Tell me. First one is the sclerotic layer, choroid layer, retina. Fourth one is the cornea. Fifth one is the lenses. Sixth one is the aqueous chamber. Seventh one is the vitreous chamber. And eighth one is the optic nerve. Here optic nerve. Next, ninth one is the iris. Actually in the Aadhaar card we are taking to the irises. And 10th one is the ciliary muscles. 11th one is the conjunctiva. 12th one is the blind spot. These in your textbook, you have the textbook. Once that parts you can first see. Now okay, is it okay? Shall we start the discuss? Now see, eye is one of the most important sense organ. This is the important or not? There is no eye, we cannot see that beautiful world. Okay, if there is no eyes, we cannot imagine how is the beautiful of the nature, beautiful of the people, beautiful of the persons. Okay, with the help of the eyes. So that's why we first of all thanks to the God, you are giving to the very good sense organ, that is nothing but eyes. Yes. So with the help of the eyes we are able to appreciate visually whatever is happening in front of us. For example, you know very well Taj Mahal. Okay, if you are see that Taj Mahal, so for example, in front of what we are see with the help of the eyes only. Okay, so there is no eyes. For example, we cannot see anything. So that's why with the help of the eyes we are able to appreciate visually whatever is happening in front of us. In generally, eyes in the animal world take different forms and structure. Human eye is undoubtedly the best evolved and one of the most efficient visual organ. Next, the human eye distinguishes various colors. Our eyes instantaneously adjust for the seeing object that are near and that are far away. We also have the binocular vision. What is the binocular vision? We can see with the help of the two eyes. At that end only single image is formed. So that is called binocular vision. Both the eyes seeing the same object at the same time. They form two separate images. After that, one each eye. However, when the final understanding is made, both the images are merged, forming a single image. So that is called binocular vision. And this is the help us to have the three-dimensional images. Actually, we can see with the eyes. Eyes are the very powerful sense organ. With the help of these eyes, we can see the three-dimensional images and estimating the distance of an object from us. So this is the total 3D part. Are you understand? Now we will go to that internal structure of the sense organ of eyes. Shall we go? Now coming to the point, okay, what we see externally as eye is very small portion. For example, what we are seeing eye is very small portion, but this is the more complex and larger part of the eye. Okay, this is the very complex organ. This is the very complex organ. This eye is located in the eye socket in the skull. Actually, eye is located in the eye socket in the skull. The eye is protected from that. For example, if the any sunlight is fall down, okay, storms are occurred. Generally, this eye is protected by who? First one is the eyebrows. First one is the eyebrows. Who protect the eyes? First one, eyebrows. Second one, eyelashes. Second one, eyelashes. Eyelashes. Third one, eyelids. Eyelids. So actually eyes is the, okay, eyes are the protected from the strong sunlight and dust by these are the eyebrows, eyelashes, eyelids protected to the eyes. The common experience that we can close our eyes in strong wind or in the bright light. So this is the common point. Generally, when the marriage is over, generally we are so affection between the daughter and parents. Okay, so much of the affections are present. They are crying. Okay, in our eyes also lacrimal glands. Who are present? Lacrimal glands. Lacrimal glands are present in the eyes. Lacrimal glands are secreted to the lacrima, that is nothing but tears. These are the lacrimal glands secreted to the water liquid containing salt. This liquid help in the destroying the bacteria and keeping the eyes moist and removing of the dust particle. Very very important. So sometimes if you are crying, that is good. Yes or no? Why? So this lacrimal gland secreted to the lacrima, this lacrimal glands secreted to that lacrima help into the destroying the bacteria and keeping the eyes moist in condition and removing of the dust particles. Okay. Next, eyelids always move all the time involuntary. Always. So for example, eyelids always move in that involuntary without our knowledge and spread this liquid all over the eye. This help in the removal of the dust particle from the eyes. The water liquid constantly flows out of the eye through the small hole in the inner side of the lower eyelid. This hole is connected to the nose by the duct called tear duct. In certain emotional states, such times we are laughing, we are crying, and so these are the tears are coming from that from your eyes, from your eyes. Are you understand? Next, eyes is almost okay. So this is understand. This is the hole is connected nose by the duct called tear duct. In certain emotional states such as the laughing or crying, the fluid flows in the excess amounts of the spills over forming what we are called okay tears. Tears means emotionally what we are that it that water comes out from that. Sometimes that water also comes from our nose also. Okay, so next, this is the total external part. Internal part, eye is almost spherical organ. This is the spherical organ. Actually these are the three layers are present. How many layers are present? Three layers are present, one layer after another layer. The outermost layer is called sclerotic layer. What it is? Sclerotic layer. First one is what? Sclerotic layer. Sclerotic layer. Second one is what? So eye is almost spherical organ. So actually three layers are present. Okay, first row is the sclerotic layer. This is the very tough and fibrous, and second one is the middle layer. This middle layer is called choroid layer. This is known as the second one is the choroid layer. Second one is the choroid layer. Okay. Choroid layer. You can see first layer is the sclerotic layer, second layer is known as the choroid layer, third one is the retina. So these are the three layers are present in that eyes. Three layers are present in the eyes. In this you can see Next, so in this second layer is the middle layer. Middle layer is called choroid layer, which has a large number of the blood vessels. That blood is collected from the eyes through that choroid layer, and waste blood, deoxygenated blood, they can send outside through this choroid layer. And these blood vessels carry blood to that from the eye. The innermost layer is called retina. Third layer is called retina. So this retina is the sensory region of the eye, which detect light and transform the light energy into the nerve impulse. The eyeball within the socket is moved with the help of the six muscles. Both the eyes move together, coordination with each other, and make the vision perfect. Actually, we are taking to the two eyes and two dimension, and two images formed. The two images and when we are taking to that almost these are the two eyes, we can see the two images. When whole we are taking only single image. Okay. Next, in front of that portion of the eye, sclerotic layer forms into the cornea. If you are see that, okay, cornea. So in that choroid layer, okay, you can see that cornea. Fourth one is the cornea. Fifth one is the lenses, and sixth one is the aqueous chamber, and seventh one is the vitreous chamber, and eighth one is the optic nerve here, and ninth one is the iris, and 10th one is the ciliary muscle, and 11th one is the conjunctiva, and 12th one is the blind spot. Okay, now coming to the point, in the front portion of the eye, the sclerotic layer forms into the cornea. This is a very transparent structure and allowed to the light to pass inside that. This is the covered outside by a thin transparent protective coat called conjunctiva. So this is the protected and lubricated by the secretions of the lacrimal glands. Next, the next portion, the next important part of the eye is the iris. Actually, in that Aadhaar card we are taking to the iris. Okay, so this iris is not matches to that others. Okay, next part is the iris. This is the present below the cornea and is circular diaphragm like structure. That central aperture hole is called pupil. You can see small dot is present in the eyes, that is nothing but pupil. This pupil is present in the iris. This aperture allows to the light enter the inner chamber of that eye. The size of the iris and pupil are adjustable. In the darkness, the pupil is expand and the aperture become larger. That allows the maximum amount of the light to pass through the pupil. When the light is bright, that pupil is the contract and the aperture become a small in size, so that this is the less light passes through it. Actions of the iris and pupil are comparable to the actions of the diaphragm in the camera. In the camera, what is the diaphragm is doing like that, iris and pupil also doing like that only. Okay, color of the eyes is determined by the color of the iris only. So actually in that iris has a pigment which imparts the black, brown and blue color to the eyes of individual. Behind the iris who are present, lenses are present. This is also called crystalline lens. It is transparent and focuses light on the retina. So it held in the position of the muscles are called ciliary muscle. Contraction and relaxation of these muscles change in the size of the diameter and focusing of the lens. Because of this capacity, we are able to see very far distance and very near object very clearly without any delay, because of the ciliary muscle. In front of the lens, small chamber is called aqueous chamber. This is filled with a water jelly called aqueous hammer. Okay, this is filled, this fluid along with the cornea act an additional focusing device for the eye. The main chamber of the eye is the inner chamber. that is called vitreous chamber. This filled with a dense jelly like material called vitreous hammer. Now, retina is the innermost layer and is the actual sensory part of the eye. Cells in the retina are a minute or tightly packed. Each eye has about 14 crores of the cells are present. How many crores of the cell? 14 crores of the cell. There are two kinds of the cells are present in the retina. They are called rods and cones. Very, very important. Okay. So these cells also differ in their structure and composition and function. In the general, rods are the more in number than the cones, and their ratio also 15:1. This is the cone and rods. Rods have the reddish pigment substance, red color substance, that is called visual purple or rhodopsin. When the light falls on the retina, the pigment decomposes and reforms the immediately. For the formation of the rhodopsin, vitamin A is essential. So that's why most of the people lack of that vitamin A, their eyesight is not working. So that's why now onwards small people we can provide to that leafy vegetables vitamin A. If you are providing sufficient, sight is good. Okay, in this visual purple or rhodopsin required to the vitamin A is the essential. Vitamin A deficiency causes to the certain defects in the vision. So rods have the capacity to sense even very dull light like dark night, but they cannot distinguish one color from other. This is the reason why the dark night all the colors object appear to be the same in the different especially in that gray in color. Actually in the cones have that different pigment is present. That pigment name is the iodopsin. This iodopsin helps to the distinguish colors like blue color, green color, red color. So morning time these cones are working. In the night time especially these rods are working. So that's why night time if you are see the any object in the dark black in color, in that morning time that cones are working. So that's why we are identified to the color because of the cones only. Okay, cones have the different pigment iodopsin. This iodopsin distinguish color blue, green and red color, and entire range colors in the between these color. They function better in the bright light. They are also present in the large number in the part of the retina, which is the just opposite of the people. This small area retina is called fovea or yellow spot. Light traveling traveling from an object passes through the cornea, then after pupil, then focused by the lenses into the retina, where the image of the object is formed. That image formed on the retina will be smaller than the object. Moreover that the image is upside down. Optic nerve. So what is the nerve opposite of that retina? That is known as the optic nerve. Optic nerve that carry the messages from the eye to the brain. There is no rods and cones are present in that optic nerve. That is called blind spot. So where that there is no rods and cones on that point where the retina connected optic nerve, the area of the retina is called blind spot. No image is formed in the area of the retina, as there are two eyes, there are two optic nerves, one on each side. On its way to brain, half of the optic nerve one side crosses to other side and other half travel on the same side. Thus each eye send messages to the both the sides of the brain. Brain has the region where the messages from the eye are received and analyzed. Upside down image formed on the retina will be converted into the upright position. Size of the image will be restored to normal size and it is converted into the three-dimensional images. So vision so these are the vision becomes detective when the lens cannot adjust with the distance of the object, when the muscles controlling of the crystalline lens became timed or failed to the function properly, vision will be defective. This image does not fall precisely on the retina as the lens cannot adjust of the focus properly. When the image falls on the front of the retina, the defect is called myopia or short-sightedness. In many cases, especially when the age is advancing, the lens cannot adjusting. Okay, so this is a total about the lesson. Once I have the photoreceptor which sends light, lacrimal glands are secreted that ears, eye has the three layers, outer one is the sclerotic layer, middle one is the choroid layer and inner one is the retina. Retina has the rods and cones which are that photoreceptor. Rods have the pigment rhodopsin, cones have the pigment iodopsin. Cones are the responsible for the color of the vision. Optic nerve connects the retina with brain. Light from an object focused by the lens on the retina. A small upside down images or object is formed on the retina. People control the amount of the light falling in the retina. Lens play an important role seeing the near the object. Okay, here actually this is the, you can see in your textbook, these are the diagram. This is the diagram, this is the according to your textbook. Okay, so first one is sclerotic layer, second one is the choroid layer, third one is the retina. Okay, next cornea, next one aqueous chamber. Okay, aqueous chamber. Next one is the lenses, pupil. Okay, iris. Okay, conjunctiva. This is optic nerve. There is no rods and cones, that is known as the blind spot. Okay, this is called vitreous chamber. Okay, actually cones and rods, next especially the main diseases defect of the eyes are night blindness, xerophthalmia or myopia also known as the near sightedness, hypermetropia that is far sightedness, glaucoma, cataract and color blindness. Some of the person may have the eye defects by birth due to the various reasons. So these are the diseases generally caused by the eyes. What are the diseases? Night blindness, xerophthalmia, myopia also known as the near sightedness. That means near we cannot see. And hypermetropia means far sightedness. That means distances, long distances we cannot see. And glaucoma and cataract, night blindness. For example, if that parents have that some of the genetic diseases like eye diseases, okay. So for example, color blindness, color hemophilia. Okay, these are the people they cannot identify to the color. Okay, this is the genetic disorder. So these are the genetic diseases we can see. This is about the total information about the eyes. You have the any doubt regarding eyes? If you want that PDF once I can send, you have the textbook is there now within you. There is no textbook, Akansh. How you are studying? There is no textbook means? Material. Read the textbook. In the textbook each and everything information is there. Okay. Next session we will go to that ear. Okay. Next session we will discuss about the sense organ. Ear we will discuss.